Hey, thanks for joining me here on our 25th installment of Buster's Glitch Ass Gaming Podcast. I'm Tony, all alone Flowers, and this week I'm rolling solo because our boy Oscar Warrior he flew to Japan real quick. He'll be right back, but not quick enough to join us today. So it's just you and me, dear sweet listeners. This is a very special episode, indeed. The number 25. It's a very attractive number. 250. It also just so happens to be my lucky number, so to speak, in that my birthday is on the 25th, and for no other reason, honestly. Either way, I find it interestingly appropriate that if I were to ever do an episode alone, it would be the 25th. So it just makes sense to me. Anyways, as you know, Oscar and I usually shoot the shit for about 20 minutes, but this week I reached out to our listeners for questions, so I'll spend the first few minutes just answering those. So let's jump right into it. Our boy Sweet Baby, he asks, bone in or bone out, with the addendum dry rub or wet sauce? I'm a fan of both the boneless wings and bone-in wings. But if I have my choice, it's going to be bone-in every time. You know, I think my beef with boneless wings is that it doesn't feel like you're eating chicken wings at all. They took all the meat from the wings, they mash it up into a ball, breaded it, and deep fried it or something. It's just mini rolled up chicken tenders, which again, I can enjoy. Dip it into some ranch or some blue cheese. Fuck yeah, dude. But there's an art, to eating a bone-in wing. Taking your time to consume every morsel of flesh off of your wing, off the wings, and sometimes having to hold yourself back from just fucking eating the whole bone. I don't know. Is that just me? Sometimes I just want to fucking just gnaw on the bone and just grind it up into a paste, and maybe I'm a psychopath. I don't know. But I like my wings extra well done. Like, if they're nice and juicy, awesome, right? But if I can't tell what's meat or what's bone, no problem. I got dibs. Those are mine. I'll take those. Which, what did he say here? Oh, yeah, which brings me to his next question. Dry rub or wet sauce? Neither. Like, give me some plain ass, extra well done, crispy wings with a sprinkle, just some salt on that shit. I'll be happier than a cockroach eating its dead relatives. So yeah, that's not to say that I have anything against wet sauce or dry rubs. I'd fuck those up. But, if I have a choice, same with the boneless wings. If I had to choose, plain ass, bone in all day. All day. Thank you, Sweet Baby. Actually, he also asks, how does popcorn pop? He's asking the real questions here, man. I have no idea. All I know is that when the kernels reach a certain temperature, they burst, and what I'm assuming is their starchy interior. That's what you're left with, right? Something I found out later in life, actually, and randomly too, is that popping corn is a very specific type of maize, and it's called Averta, I think it was called. I'd have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure it's called Averta. It's a very specific type of corn, and it's the only one, I think, that's capable of popping or something like that. Love me some popcorn, though. Freshly popped, nice and hot. Just the right amount of butter and salt. Ugh. I'm literally that guy who will kill an entire fucking bag unintentionally before the movie even starts. That's me. Ask Chelsea. I'm kind of clumsy with that shit too. I'll end up finding a bunch on the seat that I'm sitting in, or I'll drop some on my shirt and I'll have to go in for it. It's actually kind of fun. A little taxing, but the other day or last week or something, I was watching an episode of The Expanse, and I popped some corn, and I was eating it with chopsticks. Yeah. You know what's weird about that is that I didn't even get through the whole bag that way. It's like I got full way sooner than I ever would. Yeah. So yeah, got to learn some self-control, man. Eat popcorn with chopsticks if you're like me and you devour that shit way too fast. It helps. Thank you for writing in, sweet baby. I appreciate that very much, dude. All right, let's see what else we got here. Tarv asks, why does my wife always try to stick a finger in my ass? Does anyone else have this problem? Is your wife secretly a nurse practitioner, Tarv? I know you're a few years older than me. I want to say like maybe at least 3 years my senior. So I don't know. That puts you inside that age range where you should be getting your prostate checked. So she's just trying to make sure you're healthy, bud. Either that or she's digging around for your G-spot. For anyone that still doesn't know, apparently the male G-spot is hiding somewhere up our booty holes. So be cautious, Tarv. 1 minute she's feeling around for last night's dinner, and the next she's, giving you the old two thumber. Give it the old two thumber. Yeah, just make sure you communicate your feelings on the matter, If you don't want her to go digging around in there, just tell her you don't want to. And if she doesn't listen, therapy or whatever. But whatever you decide, no judging. I don't give a fuck. No judging on my part. Everyone has their thing or things. Whatever moistens your biscuit, fellas. Or whatever steams your clam for the gals. Thanks for writing in, Tarv. I really appreciate that, buddy. And finally, Maximus writes in and asks, what are the top 5 characters from video games that you wish you could just punch in the face in real life, either because of how annoying they were or because of how they treated your character? I wrote down a few of these because I needed to put some thought into this, and there's a lot of them. So but here's some in no particular order. Okay, Preston Garvey from Fallout 4, nice guy, but fuck you and every one of those fucking settlements that need my help, dude. Like I'm busy right now. I'm getting high with Mama Murphy. Tom Nook from Animal Crossing deserves a good pop in the fucking mouth, capitalist bastard. Mortgage after mortgage after fucking mortgage with this guy. Eat shit, you little walking coat. Navi from The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. She's hilariously annoying. Always stopping me to point out the obvious. Just want to tie her up by the wings and use her as a fucking speed bag. Slippy Toad from Star Fox 64. There's supposed to be like some elite squadron, of furries, basically. I don't know how this little loser ended up on that fucking squad. Like, dude is a straight up liability. And speaking of which, Star Fox, Falco is a little passive aggressive twat. Deserves a good slapjack to the back of the fucking head too. You know what's funny? When I was reading this question, the very first character that came to mind, I'm sure, came to everybody's mind who played this game, Micah Bell from Red Dead Redemption 2. He came to mind immediately. Like, I love the way that this character was written deliberately to be despised. Yeah, the whole game, you just can't wait for him to get what's coming to him. Yeah, so that's my list of 5. That was 5, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, cool. Honorable mention, the dog from Duck Hunt. Every single time you fuck up, that little bitch pops up in the grass and giggles at you. Giggles at your failure. I know everyone out there who's played the game used to try and shoot that fucker while it was laughing. Same here. You are not alone. Yeah. Hey, look at this. We got a write-in from Oscar Warrior. He says, hello, I just landed in Tokyo. It's crazy out here. We already talked to the boss of Japan, like the actual guy. He met us at the airport and was like, Oscar-san, Tanya-san, welcome home. I told him you were trying to come out too, and he just got real serious and said no. His aura is not compatible with the vibe. Sucks to suck, bro. Anyways, I'm about to go eat vending machine spaghetti with Pikachu, so good luck with the solo episode. Hee 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 ha ha. All right, let's move over to the download. Number 1, Nintendo's latest financial report, released on November 4th, confirmed that the Switch 2 has sold over 10 million units worldwide as of September 30th, just 4 months after its June 5th launch. This record-breaking pace has prompted Nintendo to raise its sales forecast for the year to 19 million units, previously 15 million. The success is being driven by flagship software, with Mario Kart World leading the charge, having sold 9.5 million copies, including bundles, followed by Donkey Kong Bonanza at just under 3.5 million units sold. So this means that the Switch 2 is already breathing down the neck of the Wii U's lifetime sales of 13.5 million units, which, thanks to Pokemon Legends ZA, we got Hyrule Warriors, Kirby Air Riders, and Metroid Prime 4. Combine all those games, Pokemon Legends, it came out after September 30th. Wait, right? Yeah, it came out last month. That one just came out, so that's not part of this 10 million units. So Pokemon is always a console pusher. You got Hyrule Warriors coming out, I want to say this week, or was it last week? Tomorrow, maybe. Whatever. Kirby Air Riders coming out later this year, and Metroid Prime 4. All that with the holidays, and this thing is likely to blow past the Wii U before the year's end. I don't even think it's a question, honestly. So in just under 4 months, the Switch 2 sold 10 million units. And for comparison's sake, the PS5 and the original Switch both took about 9 months each to hit 10 million. Fucking crazy impressive. You have to take into account, though, that the original Switch and especially the PS5 were chronically sold out around their first holiday seasons. PS5 mainly due to COVID, I think, was around the time when the PS5 dropped. So yeah, scalpers were living in a paradise. I don't think that was happening with the Switch 2. Their stock has been pretty steady. So we'll see if they can keep up with demand this holiday season. Let's move on. Number 2, the Simpsons and Fortnite collaboration officially launched on November 1st, starting a month-long mini-season that completely transformed the island into a fully cel-shaded Springfield-themed map, complete with iconic locations like the nuclear power plant, Moe's Tavern, and the Quickie Mart. The main attraction is a new battle pass featuring fan-favorite skins, such as Homer Simpson, with an evil Homer style, Marge Simpson, with a witch Marge style, and Ned Flanders with everyone's favorite, stupid, sexy Flanders style, alongside Simpsonized versions of Fortnite originals like Blinky Fish Stick. Gameplay is also completely shaken up with a revamped loot pool that introduces themed healing items like Krusty Burgers and Super Squishies for the 80-player matches. That part kind of caught me off guard. I didn't realize that they were 80-player matches. I thought they were 100. I had to look that up, and I guess that's just specifically for this map because it's a little bit smaller than their usual. So just a heads up. That's not a mainstay, I don't think. I don't think that's going to be a mainstay. So I haven't played Fortnite since Chapter 1, Season 7. So a fuckload has changed. It's been a long time. I watched the trailer for this, the Simpsons content, and no joke, this looks incredibly good. I'm not a fan of, nor am I any good at, battle royales, so I'm not super tempted to try it again. I tend to die a lot in competitive multiplayer games. It's what I do. I die a lot. Ask Maximus. He's been playing some Battlefield with me. Not this week, unfortunately, but yeah. So not for me, but holy shit, it looks really cool. Check out that trailer, man. Fucking if you're a fan of Simpsons, fan of Fortnite, or on the fence, never tried it. I don't know. Looks fucking sweet. I still think the Durr Burgers are fucking hilarious. I love the Durr Burgers. I made some in real life, by the way. I saw this little recipe where basically you cut out a piece of Spam for the tongue. It's really cute. Took some pictures too. I'll show you guys one day, perchance. Anyways, on to the release radar. This week's releases, we got November 7th, a pizza delivery by Eric Osuna, coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Rewoven Self by Tang Yuan. I hope that's how you pronounce that. Coming to PC. Thrasher by Puddle, coming to PC. Void Train by Hype Train Digital, releasing out of early access on PC. Then November 10th, we have Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition by Bethesda Game Studios for PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Hidden Cats by Louiselle. The name of the game is Hidden Cats by Louiselle, and the studio name, Louiselle. Coming to PC. Into the Grid by Flatline Studios, releasing into early access on PC, and Overlooked by Omid JM, coming to PC. November 11th, Goodnight Universe by Nice Dream, coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and Switch 2. Lumines Arise by Enhance and Monstars Inc., coming to PC and PS5. NASCAR 25 by iRacing Studios, coming to PC. It's releasing on PC. It's already out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Processors by Heart Machine, coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Sacred 2 Remaster by Sparkling Bit, coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And Unpetrified Echoes of Nature by Dream Hunt Studio, coming to PC. November 12th, we've got Winter Burrow by Pine Creek Games, coming to PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch. November 13th, we've got Inazuma 11, Victory Road by Level 5, coming to PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and Switch 2. Anno 117, or 117, whatever, Pax Romana by Ubisoft Mains, coming to PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Little Corners by Meteor Pixel, coming to PC. Chapter 1 of a game called Love at the Milky Way Diner by Lucky Kim, Ellie, and Ellie Hykins, I believe is how you pronounce that name. Sorry if I'm incorrect. Coming to PC with the subsequent chapters coming later at no extra charge. So it's kind of like an early access situation. Very similar to the coffin of Andy and Lily. So yeah, similar. You buy the game, you only have access to the first chapter. The rest are still to come. I guess that's kind of early access, but not really. Anyways. And finally, Yakuza Kiwami, and also Yakuza Kiwami 2 by Ryuga Gotoku Studio, coming to Switch 2. That's cool. Wow, that's a long list of shit. Thrasher looks dope. Fallout 4 Anniversary is so fucking stupid. Like, how the fuck is this any different from the Game of the Year edition? You're basically just buying a bundle of 150 Creation Club items. Fucking Bethesda, man. What a joke. Hidden Cats looks cute. So does Overlook. Winter Burrow. Yeah, that one. That one looks really cool. I'd love to try that one out someday. Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 dropping on the Switch 2. That's really cool. Now, Switch 2 owners should have access to 0, 1 and 2 after this drops. And then I think in February, Kiwami 3. Very nice. Freebie Forecast. All right, this week, free on Epic Games Store, we've got Felix the Reaper by Kong Orange. Felix the Reaper is a challenging and strict 3D puzzle game about bringing humans into deadly situations. You are Felix, the ever-dancing bringer of death, who just so happens to be dangerously in love with life. Sounds interesting. And also Nixie's Renown Pack. It's a bundle of stuff apparently worth over $100 for the game Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. That's a Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think it's a card game, but anyways, it's by Codename Entertainment. It says Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a Dungeons and Dragons strategy management game uniting characters from throughout the D&D multiverse into a grand adventure. Okay, whatever. Felix the Reaper looks cool. Okay. Xbox Game Pass. November 7th, we've got Void Train by Hype Train Digital, available for premium and ultimate subscribers. That's a day one Game Pass game. November 11th, we've got Great God Grove by Weird Fish Games for premium and ultimate subscribers. Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris by Crystal Dynamics, available for premium and ultimate subscribers. And Pigeon Simulator by Hakama, available for ultimate subscribers. November 12th, we've got Winter Burrow by Pine Creek Games. Oh, cool. Very cool. Ultimate for ultimate subscribers. And Relic Hunter's Legend by Rogue Snail for premium and ultimate subscribers. PlayStation Plus, we got nothing this week. No news that I can see. So keep in mind, I'm also recording this on a Wednesday rather than Thursday, which is our usual. So I might be behind on one or two things. Who knows? Something might pop up today, which we would normally include into the podcast tomorrow, but whatever. Nintendo Switch Online, one new thing here. We've got the Animal Crossing New Leaf soundtrack. That's now available on Nintendo Music, which is 188 tracks, totaling about 5 hours of tunage. I've been looking for some fun couch co-op or versus games to play with my wife, Chelsea, and I came across two little gems I'd like to tell you a bit about. So the first one is called Astro Duel II. This is a sci-fi arena combat game mixed with a 2D platform fighting game. I hope that makes sense. But basically, you and your opponents, you can have up to 6 players, are all in spaceships, and you maneuver around the almost entirely destructible arena to kill each other. All pixel graphics. It's in a top-down kind of perspective, and when your ship is destroyed, your little pilot character is floating through space. If you can stay out of harm's way for, I want to say, about like 5 seconds, you'll get your ship back, right? Your ship will just respawn around you, and now you're in your ship. Okay, you're safe again, right? Don't do what Chelsea does and try to take on a ship with your little nano fighter. If the ship touches you, it splatters your ass. So like, I'll destroy her ship, and she'll just start fucking like swimming through space towards me with her little tiny itty bitty character, and I'll just splat. There are different types of ships, each with their own little specials. Like the drill ship, for example, all ships can dash, but when the drill ship does, it uses its drill to either damage an enemy ship or it'll destroy some environment, and you can just kind of like carve your own path into another section of the arena. Or the Phoenix ship, which has a reflect special. So if you time it right, and you can send projectiles like right back to sender, basically. There are also one-time use pickups that spawn around the arena, like a shield that'll absorb your next hit. You could pick up homing missiles, self-explanatory, or fucking nukes that'll destroy anything within its detonation zone. There are these little areas of the arena called gravity zones that as soon as you touch its perimeter, as soon as you get there, it instantly transitions you to your little pilot guy, and now you can duke it out on foot in this little platformer-like area. It's like usually little sections of the arena. So on the outskirts, let's say, it's all outer space, and then like if you fly to the perimeter in this little area here, now you're in like this little building, and you're just jumping around with your little guys, duking it out with some fucking with everyone has swords. You can pick up guns and grenades to use here too. The same thing works the other way too. So you can run over to the perimeter as your little tiny guy, and as soon as you touch the perimeter, you instantly transition back into ship combat. It's so fucking cool. I really, really enjoy this game. So basically, the last pilot standing wins the round, and you can choose how many kills you need to get in order to be victorious. It reminds me very much of Boomerang Fu, which is an excellent little party game, one of my favorites, which brings me to the modes. So there's Deathmatch, up to 6 players, or you can add bots if you like. You can do Chelsea and I played a few matches where it was me and her and then 2 other AI bots. There's team deathmatch. That's also self-explanatory. And there's one called Warp Gate, which is basically King of the Hill. There's Cash Grab, where, well, I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's like Capture the Flag. I think like team versus team maybe, or 1v1 or something like that. And then Bounty, which gives you a bunch of like target enemies to kill, and each kill gives you points. And I think some of them drop extra cash, which adds to your total if you pick it up. And the player or team that gets the highest bounty total wins. The game was made by independent game developer Rusty Moyer, and it dropped on Steam and Switch back in March of 24. Yeah, then it came to Xbox Series X and S just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, interesting timing on my part. I'm playing it on the Switch, and we've been having a blast. Tons of laughs with this one. Highly, highly recommend it. Can't wait to maybe try it out the next time we all get together. Me and a little group of friends we got. The other game I'd like to tell you about, I found this one called Super Blood Hockey. And even though we haven't played much, it's been a riot, dude. It's a fast-paced arcade-style hockey game made by independent solo dev Lauren Lemke, I believe is how you pronounce their name. Came out to PC back in 2017 and then to consoles in 2019. It has simple controls. Yeah, pretty simple controls, and it encourages you to be fucking brutal and just lay waste to everybody. You can check at will, but you can hurt your own team, so you got to be careful. And if you hit the same guy too many times, you'll get into a fight, and it's not a one-on-one fight. Both teams just go apeshit on each other until everyone from one team is down. So everyone fights, and the winning team gets the power play, while the other team's members are stuck fucking seizing and bleeding out on the ice until the power play runs out. Dude, that shit caught us so off guard. It was hilarious. Like, dude's eyes were darting in all directions. He was seizing and bleeding, and everyone's just playing hockey around him. It's fucking awful. From what I've read, actually, fights can actually lead to the death of the downed guy. So if you're on that side of the ice, you'll be a man down for the rest of the game. I think that's really funny. There's a challenge mode where you can play like 4 versus 8. For some reason, I don't know why you would ever want to do that. Or 12 versus 12, which would be pandemonium. Sounds really fun, really ridiculous. There's a tournament mode where the losers are executed or something, or like there's a chance that the losers will get executed. But I really want to check out the franchise mode where you manage a team, and they're basically like inmates, and you manage their stats. You can dope them up with like fucking roids or something, and it just sounds so funny. We've basically just played some exhibition matches, and like against and with each other so far. That's all we've really done. But I will highly recommend this one. I think you can play up to 4 players locally. There's no online play, I don't think. But yeah, that would be great for parties, get-togethers. But yeah, that's all I've really played this week. So let's jump over to the news and rumor mill. Number 1, as reported by Bloomberg, Rockstar Games is facing accusations of union busting after reportedly terminating between 30 and 40 employees across its UK and Canadian offices, a move the IWGB, Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain, has condemned as, quote, one of the most blatant and ruthless acts of union busting in the history of the games industry, end quote. Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, has denied the allegations, saying the firings were for gross misconduct and for no other reason, though they declined to provide any specifics, setting the stage for potential legal action from the union seeking reinstatement of its members. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that this supposed misconduct is just them talking about unionizing. But yeah, seriously, Rockstar needs to tread lightly here. This could be, I don't know. I'm not too savvy on this type of shit, but from what I see as a fan of their games, they make some of the greatest games the world has ever seen. Many people would agree with that. And to make those games, they need the best talent in the world to work on them. So if they become known in the industry as the guys who fire people for even discussing organizing on Discord, it was a private Discord, by the way, that these people were discussing this on, they can make themselves a really unattractive company to work for. You know, so if they were discussing this on a private Discord, I'm assuming somebody either ratted them out or, I mean, how else would they have known, right? So, but I'm not savvy on law in the UK, but I'm pretty sure that if they can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that these 40-ish people were doing some employment termination worthy shit, then it could get ugly for them. How ugly? I don't know. Might have to cough up some millions to these folks. They wipe their asses with millions, you know? Especially after GTA 6 drops. They're going to be probably going to be rolling in over $1 billion in less than 24 hours. They might have to rehire these people. A PR shitstorm can fuck with morale at the studio, so that could cause people to bail. And if key members bail, that could lead to, let's say, extended crunch periods, further delays of the game. So yeah, I don't know, man. It could be bad, I guess. I can see this going really bad for them because, like I said, first thought that popped in my head was just like, what are they gonna do? Like, they're gonna sue them for a few $1 million? Here, take the money, fuck off, and then nothing comes of it. Everybody's happy again, right? But yeah, I can see how this can go sideways for them. So what can Rockstar do to fix this? I was thinking they could just offer these folks their jobs back. That would be, I think, a bitch slap to the IWGB's main legal claim. Like, just hire them back, despite whatever this how did they put it? The gross misconduct, whatever it was, just hire them back. That could help, I think. Sidestep the legal shit. I would say they should go the Microsoft route and sign an agreement that lets their people unionize without interference, but companies tend to fight tooth and nail against this shit, so I don't see that happening. I think the only reason Microsoft agreed to that for Activision Blizzard and ZeniMax was because they wanted to buy them so badly, and they probably wouldn't have sold otherwise. Corpo's gonna corpo. I hope we hear more about this. We'll keep an eye out for more. Moving on. Number 2, Yuji Horii, the creator of the Dragon Quest franchise, has become the first ever game designer to be included in Japan's prestigious Autumn Honors List, receiving the Order of the Rising Sun medal. This honor is given to those recognized for distinguished service to the state and culture. Horii, who has worked on every main Dragon Quest entry since its 1986 debut, the year before I was born, was recognized for his immense contribution to Japanese pop culture, with his series selling over 83 million units worldwide and serving as the foundational blueprint for the Japanese role-playing game genre. Horii expressed his gratitude by humbly stating that his success is all thanks to the staff who helped me make it, and the users who have always supported me, adding that he feels as though he has leveled up in many ways. That's beautiful, man. Congratulations to Yuji Horii. That's fucking awesome. The story actually reminds me of a conversation I had this past week with PT, a dear friend of us glitch-ass motherfuckers. He was telling me about his favorite esports player, a guy named Faker from the team T1. They play League of Legends. For anyone who doesn't know, I didn't know until this particular conversation. So apparently it's mandatory for every able-bodied male in South Korea to serve in the military. once they reach a certain age. I think it's 18. So Faker and his team were given an exemption from the mandate because of their gold medal victory. And so the story kind of reminds me of that, like a nice first ever for a super talented individual. I love seeing the art of video games and their design being honored in any way. So this was a story I had to add for this week. Very well deserved. That's over 40 years of creativity and dedication. And Dragon Quest is one of the most influential franchises in gaming history, especially when you're talking about JRPGs. Now, I've never played any Dragon Quest games, but since they've been getting the HD 2D remakes, it's much more tempting. Your boy might jump on board one of these days. All right. Number 3. Following the official reveal of Halo campaign involved, rumors are now circulating that Halo 2 and Halo 3 will receive the same treatment. The leaks, stemming from the well-known insider Halo Leaks, suggest that Halo Studios is planning full campaign-only, multiplayer will not be included, remakes for the remainder of the original trilogy, with modernized mechanics such as sprinting being added. Competitive online multiplayer is instead being developed alongside the next mainline entry. You know, Oscar and I briefly discussed this at work the other day when the rumor initially popped up, and he brought up a really interesting idea. So, with this rumor that Halo 2 and 3 are getting campaign remakes, it's possible that Halo Studios, formerly 343 Industries, are going to scrap the storylines for 4, 5, and Infinite and reboot the series starting after 3. Yeah, I really like this idea. I think plenty of people would like this idea. If they go this route, what I think is that they need to lay out a whole complete storyline and execute on it over the course of the next, 3 games or whatever. And I don't mean spill all the details to the players right from the get-go, but I think they need to know where the new storyline begins and ends before they start, no matter how many games it's going to span. But also, pay close attention to the lore that Bungie created and really try to stick to it and not kiss the legacy with your shit-covered butthole. Because it feels kind of like what they did with with 4, 5, and Infinite in terms of storyline. 4 wasn't bad. I enjoyed that one for the most part. I thought the ending with Cortana was dope, and it was heavy, and then they did some weird shit in the 5th game that just kind of fucked it entirely up. And I'm not trying to spoil anything here for anyone who cares. But then when Infinite dropped, they basically retconned the whole shit with Halo 5, and now the story is just, I don't even know. I didn't even finish Halo Infinite's campaign. I really like that game, but my problem was that I love Halo's competitive multiplayer, so it just takes me back, man. So I just played the fuck out of that. Which brings me to the other thing here, the lack of multiplayer for these remakes. As much as I would absolutely fucking love a remade version of Halo 3's multiplayer, I'm personally okay with that. If you want to play some Halo, Infinite's multiplayer was pretty fucking dope. But I haven't played it in so long, I have no idea what state it's in. You know what? It's a bit of a bummer that there won't be any remade multiplayer modes. Like, my first ever online multiplayer game was Halo 3. I missed out on 2, so I would love to check it out with a modern touch to it. And 3 would just feel like home, you know? Before I lose myself in memories of simpler times, let's move on to the community corner, shall we? All right, last week we asked, what game did you initially write off before you realized how good it was after giving it a shot? On TikTok, the OG Florida man said, Destiny. Didn't really play it until Witch Queen came out, and now it's an addiction. Yeah, dude, no joke. I played one time with a couple of friends way the fuck after it came out, and around the time they got rid of old content to make way for the new stuff, and it felt so good to play. And I can feel it. It was gonna have its hooks in me, so I decided to never turn it on again. because I knew that it had the potential to just completely dominate all of my gaming time. And there are too many games out there that I want to experience. So, got to keep moving, man. Sounds like I made the right choice. Enjoy Florida, man. Cheers. So yeah, last week I talked about how I gave Pokemon Legends ZA a shot and how I ended up really enjoying what I played, despite some lack of visual appeal. But rather than retreading on that, I'm going to say my answer to this week's question is The Witcher 3. So I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. MGS5, The Phantom Pain came out the same year as The Witcher 3, which was a series I had never heard of before then. I played my Metal Gear and obviously loved it, but then when all the outlets were discussing Game of the Year and it was fucking unanimously The Witcher, I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? These people aren't giving Metal Gear its proper praises. I was pissed off at The Witcher 3 because it was taking the spotlight from what I thought was the greatest game for the year, even though it was I don't even remember what fucking other games I played that year. But anyways, I refused to play The Witcher 3 for years because I was just being a little cunt about it. But eventually I did play it from start to finish, and I loved every second of it. Excellent game. Shame on me for waiting for so long, but I did get all the DLC and all the final bits of polishing that CD Projekt gave it right before. Right from the first time I booted it up. I got all that. I got the best version of it from the beginning for me, if that makes sense. So I'll end that with yet another reminder to Oscar to find some time to play Cyberpunk. Don't be a stubborn fool like I was with their last game. So Oscar will be in Japan until our next episode, and he's the one who puts together the TikToks for our question of the week and all that. So this week I'm skipping over it since he's on vacation. So let's glitch the fuck out of here. Be sure to check us out on TikTok and Instagram at GlitchAss Entertainment. We're also on Spotify for your auditory pleasure. Please consider leaving us a good review, because nothing says you guys do a pretty good job like typing it out in a review. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to stay informed on more glitch-ass content. Till next time, keep gaming and glitching. See ya.